The silent enemy inside your medicine cabinet. Have you ever stopped to think that the greatest threat to your memory might be sitting inside your own home? Right there in your bathroom cabinet, among pills for allergies, insomnia, anxiety, or even bladder control, hides a group of medications that may be quietly aging your brain every single day. And here's the scary part: most people have absolutely no idea. Scientific studies from Harvard, Oxford, and JAMA Neurology have found a strong link between the long-term use of certain medications and a sharply higher risk of dementia and memory loss. In fact, taking one of these pills every day for just 12 months can raise your dementia risk by up to 50%. But how can something so common be so dangerous? The science behind it: these drugs belong to a class called anticholinergics. It sounds technical, but the concept is simple. They block a natural brain chemical called acetylcholine, a vital neurotransmitter that helps you learn, focus, move your muscles, and, most importantly, remember. Think of acetylcholine as the spark plug of your brain. It allows neurons to communicate, helping thoughts travel and memories form. Now imagine what happens when you block that spark day after day. It's like cutting the power lines inside your brain. Over time, signals weaken, leading to mental fog, forgetfulness, and eventually long-term damage. Where the danger hides. The problem is that these aren't rare or experimental drugs. They're some of the most common medications in America. Among them are allergy meds like Benadryl, diphenhydramine, sleep aids such as Tylenol PM and Unisom, anxiety medications like hydroxyzine, Vistaril, Atarax, bladder control drugs such as Ditropan or Detrol, even motion sickness patches or certain IBS treatments like scopolamine or antispasmodics. All of them have one thing in common: they block acetylcholine. When that happens, communication between brain cells slows, especially in critical areas like the hippocampus, the memory center, and the cerebral cortex, responsible for attention and reasoning. Over time, these drugs have been shown to cause actual brain shrinkage, visible on MRI scans. What research shows: large meta-analyses involving more than 1.5 million people found that anticholinergic drug use is an independent risk factor for all forms of dementia, including Alzheimer's disease. Even just 3 months of consistent use can increase dementia risk by around 46%, according to systematic reviews published in major medical journals. That means the damage can begin far sooner than most people think. And here's the kicker: many older adults take more than one of these medications at the same time. A pill for sleep, another for allergies, another for bladder control. Individually, each one seems harmless. Together, they act like a daily neural blackout. Why aging makes it worse: as we age, our brains naturally produce less acetylcholine. It's part of the normal aging process. Now imagine what happens when you take drugs that block even more of it. It's like draining the last drops of fuel from a tired engine. That's why people over 60, or those already experiencing mild forgetfulness or cognitive decline, are at much greater risk of the long-term effects of these medications. Early warning signs: the first symptoms are often subtle: trouble concentrating, a bit of confusion, slower reactions, minor memory slips. But over time, these turn into significant memory loss, disorientation, and difficulty performing everyday tasks. Because the decline is gradual, most people don't connect it to their medications. They think it's just getting older. But in reality, it's often an avoidable side effect, one that millions are unknowingly living with. The invisible impact. Your brain is amazingly adaptable, but also fragile. When exposed to acetylcholine blockers for long periods, it tries to compensate by reducing its own receptor sensitivity, and even its production of acetylcholine. Over time, this leads to structural brain changes, including measurable shrinkage in the hippocampus and cortex. So this isn't just about feeling groggy or forgetful, it's about physical, visible brain damage that builds up silently over time. How to protect your brain and reverse the damage? Now that you know where the danger hides, here's the most important part: what you can do to protect yourself and even reverse some of the damage. The good news is that your brain has an extraordinary ability to recover if you stop feeding it what harms it. But that recovery requires attention, new habits, and, above all, the right information. Step 1. Review what you're taking. First of all, don't stop any medication on your own. Talk to your doctor or pharmacist and make a full list of every drug you use, prescription and over-the-counter. Then look up each one and check whether it belongs to the anticholinergic class. This simple check could literally save your memory. Many people discover they're taking 2 or 3 of these drugs without realizing it. An allergy pill at night, an anti-anxiety med for sleep, something for bladder control during the day. Individually, they seem harmless, but together, they form a toxic combination for the brain. 2. Ask for safer alternatives. Modern medicine already offers many effective, low-risk options that don't block acetylcholine and can safely replace these medications, especially if you need them long-term. For sleep, try natural options like melatonin, chamomile, magnesium glycinate, the brain-friendly form, or ashwagandha. For prescription use, trazodone is often a good alternative with minimal effect on acetylcholine. For allergies, switch to second-generation antihistamines like Claritin, loratadine, Zyrtec, cetirizine, or Allegra, fexofenadine. These drugs have little penetration into the central nervous system and are much less likely to affect your memory. For bladder control, talk to your doctor about mirabegron, a non-anticholinergic option that works differently and protects your brain. For IBS, many people respond well to peppermint oil, which helps reduce cramping and discomfort without harming cognitive function. Making these swaps, always under medical guidance, can dramatically reduce your brain's burden and often improve sleep, focus, and mood. 3. Reignite your brain's fuel. Once you gradually eliminate anticholinergics, your goal is to boost acetylcholine production naturally and rebuild your brain's connections. Certain foods and habits can help reignite that spark. Eggs, rich in choline, the main precursor to acetylcholine. Fatty fish, salmon, sardines, tuna, provide omega-3s that protect neuron membranes. Cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, kale, cauliflower, support healthy brain metabolism. Regular exercise increases oxygen flow and neuroplasticity. Consistent deep sleep consolidates memories and clears out toxins. Research shows that people who sleep 7 to 8 hours a night, exercise regularly, and eat diets rich in choline and omega-3s have a significantly lower risk of cognitive decline, even decades later. 4. Eliminate other brain saboteurs. Getting rid of harmful meds is only part of the equation. You also need to tackle other factors that quietly erode your brain over time. The main culprits are insulin resistance. Too much sugar and refined carbs damage blood vessels and have been so strongly linked to dementia that some scientists now call Alzheimer's type 3 diabetes. High blood pressure. Chronic hypertension limits oxygen delivery to brain tissue, accelerating neuron loss. Inactivity and isolation. Your brain thrives on movement and human connection, neglecting either speeds up mental decline. Addressing these factors isn't optional. It's the difference between aging with clarity or losing your story. 5. How to know if there's already damage. If you've noticed frequent forgetfulness, mental fog, or trouble concentrating, it's time to see your doctor. Brain imaging and cognitive tests can detect early changes, and the earlier you intervene, the better the outcome. Some supplements may also help, including ceticoline, phosphatidylserine, and acetyl-L-carnitine, which support mitochondrial function and neuronal communication. But remember, supplements are not magic. They amplify the effects of lifestyle changes, they don't replace them. 6. The power of awareness. Millions of people are damaging their brains without realizing it, simply because they trust medications that seem harmless. The problem isn't just the drugs, it's the lack of information and the belief that, if it's over the counter, it must be safe. Now that you know the truth, you have the power to make informed choices. Brain health isn't just about genetics, it's about the daily decisions you make, what you eat, how you move, how you sleep, and yes, what you take. 7. A new beginning for your brain. Your brain is resilient. It can suffer, but it can also heal. By removing what blocks acetylcholine and adopting habits that protect it, you reduce inflammation, sharpen focus, and protect your memory for the long run. Don't wait for forgetfulness to become your new normal. Every small decision you make today, replacing a medication, getting better sleep, eating real food, is a direct investment in your clarity, independence, and quality of life. So tonight, take a look inside your medicine cabinet. Read the labels. Ask questions. Because the first step toward a younger, stronger brain might just begin in your own home. If this video helped you understand how your brain really works, click the like button, share it with someone who needs it, and subscribe to the channel.